Reborn in the Apocalypse System. Chapter 1. The Day They Left Her to Die. The sky turned red the moment the world ended. Screams echoed across the city as monsters ripped through streets, once filled with lights and music. Buildings collapsed. Cars exploded. Humanity fell in a single night. And in the middle of the chaos, Lena was betrayed. "Run faster!" her husband, Daniel, shouted. Lena clutched her bleeding arm while following him and her younger sister. Mia through the ruined subway tunnels. Behind them, infected creatures crawled along the walls, their glowing eyes locked onto prey. I can't," Lena gasped. Daniel suddenly stopped. For a second, Lena thought he was going to help her. Instead, he pushed her. Her body slammed against the ground. "Daniel?" His cold eyes looked down at her without guilt. "We can't survive if we keep dragging you around." Mia avoided Lena's gaze. "I'm sorry, sis, but Daniel is right." The monsters were getting closer. Lena's heart shattered harder than the bones in her arm. "You promised," she whispered. Daniel grabbed Mia's hand. "We'll live better without you." Then they ran, leaving her behind. The infected creatures surrounded Lena as darkness swallowed the tunnel. She cried, not because she was dying, but because the people she loved never loved her back. One creature lunged at her throat, and the world went black. Ding! System activation complete. The Apocalypse Survival System has chosen a new host. Lena's eyes snapped open. Bright sunlight filled the room. She froze. This was her apartment. The clean walls, the untouched furniture, the television playing morning news. No blood, no monsters, no apocalypse. What? Her breathing became uneven. Then she saw the date on her phone. 3 years before the apocalypse. Lena stood up so fast the chair crashed behind her. "I came back." Her hands trembled. She remembered everything. The betrayal. The monsters. The hunger. The pain. And Daniel kissing her sister while she died. Rage burned through her chest. Ding. "Welcome, host. You have been reborn before the world's destruction." Main mission: survive the apocalypse. Bonus mission: punish those who betrayed you. A blue screen floated before her eyes. Host: Lena Carter. Level 1. Skills: none. Ability: space storage locked. Lena stared silently. Then she smiled. A cold smile. "This time," she whispered, "I'll survive. And they'll beg me for mercy." Chapter 3. Preparing for the End. For the next 2 years, Lena changed everything. While the world lived normally, she prepared for war. Using the system's missions, she earned points by training, learning survival skills, and gathering supplies. Ding! Fitness mission completed. Reward: +5 strength. Ding! Food storage mission completed. Reward: space storage unlocked. A massive hidden dimension appeared inside her mind, allowing her to store endless supplies. Food, medicine, weapons, fuel, seeds, even vehicles. Nobody noticed anything strange. To everyone else, Lena was just a quiet woman rebuilding her life after divorcing Daniel. But secretly, she was becoming powerful. Very powerful. She learned martial arts, shooting, knife combat, survival tactics, and every night, she remembered the betrayal. The hatred kept her moving. One evening, her phone rang. "Daniel," Lena answered calmly. "Lena, I miss you," he said softly. The same voice that abandoned her to die. Her eyes turned cold. "What do you want?" "I made mistakes," he sighed. "Can we meet again?" Lena almost laughed. In her previous life, she would have believed him. But now she knew the truth. Daniel only came back because he failed financially without her support. And Mia? Her own sister had secretly dated him for years. Lena leaned back in her chair. Sure, she said, let's meet. A dangerous smile appeared on her face after all. I missed you too. Chapter 4. The Beginning of Hell. The apocalypse started exactly as Lena remembered. Midnight, the moon turned crimson. Then, DING. Global evolution begins. People across the world screamed as strange black cracks opened in the sky. Some humans transformed into monsters. Others awakened powers. Animals mutated. Civilization collapsed overnight. Cars crashed across highways. Military forces failed. Electricity died. And humanity entered its darkest era. But Lena was ready. Inside her secured underground shelter, she calmly watched the city burn through security cameras. Meanwhile, Daniel and Mia were trapped in an apartment building surrounded by infected creatures. Bang! 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 The monsters slammed against their door. Mia cried while Daniel panicked. Then his phone vibrated. A message from Lena. I survived. Attached was a picture of her safe shelter filled with food, water, and weapons. Daniel's eyes widened. She prepared for this? Another message appeared. Remember the subway tunnel? Now it's your turn to suffer. Daniel's face turned pale. For the first time, fear entered his heart, and far away, inside her shelter, Lena loaded her gun calmly. The apocalypse had begun, but this time, she was no longer the victim. The city outside had become a graveyard. Smoke covered the skyline. Sirens screamed endlessly before dying one by one. And beneath the ruined streets, inside a hidden underground shelter, Lena cleaned her pistol calmly. DNG. Daily mission updated. Kill 10 infected creatures. Reward, agility +3. She stood up slowly. It's time. The heavy steel door opened. For the first time since the apocalypse began, Lena stepped outside. The air smelled like blood and fire. Abandoned cars blocked the roads. Corpses covered the sidewalks. Strange growls echoed between the buildings. Then, a creature appeared. Its body twisted unnaturally, skin darkened with veins, mouth split open like an animal. And infected, the monster charged. But Lena didn't panic. Not anymore. Bang! The bullet pierced its forehead instantly. Dinged. Infected, killed, +1 EXP. And another creature rushed from a nearby store. Then another, and another. Lena moved smoothly. Every movement sharp from years of training. Bang! Ben. Bodness collapsed around her. Blood splattered across the pavement, but Lena's expression remained cold in her previous life. She cried while running from monsters this time. The monsters were running from her. Host, Lena Carter level 2. Strength, 11 agility, 14 skills. Basic gun mastery. A small smile appeared on her lips. The system was working perfectly. Then suddenly, a scream echoed nearby. Help me! Lena turned toward a convenience store. Inside, a little boy hid behind overturned shelves. While 2 infected creatures clawed toward him, the boy couldn't have been older than 10. For a brief second, Lena remembered herself in her first life. Weak, abandoned, terrified. Her eyes narrowed. She moved instantly. Bang! The first infected fell. The second lunged at her, but Lena drove her knife through its skull. The boy stared at her with trembling eyes. Thank you. Lena stayed silent. Saving people was dangerous. Trusting people was even worse. But before she could leave, ding! Hidden mission activated. Protect survivors and build your faction. Reward unknown. Lena frowned slightly. A faction? The boy looked at her carefully. Miss, are you alone? Lena glanced at the ruined city around them. The apocalypse had only started. Soon, stronger monsters would appear. Then mutant beasts. Then evolved humans willing to kill for food and power. Even she couldn't survive everything alone forever. Finally, Lena looked back at the boy. What's your name? Ethan. Do you want to live? The boy nodded quickly. Lena turned and started walking. Then keep up. Behind her, Ethan followed immediately. And somewhere far away, Daniel stared at the last remaining can of food inside his apartment. Mia cried quietly in the corner. The infected outside kept smashing against the door. Daniel's hand shook as he opened Lena's old messages again. Only now did he realize the truth. The woman he betrayed had become someone terrifying. Final chapter, Queen of the New World. 5 years after the apocalypse began, humanity had changed. The weak were dead. The cruel became monsters. And the survivors worshipped only one name, Lena Carter. High above the ruined capital, a massive fortress stood between the clouds and the broken earth below. Steel walls surrounded the city. Armed guards watched from towers. Advanced technology-powered lights that shined brighter than the old world ever had. People called it Eden, the safest place left on Earth. And its ruler was the woman once abandoned in a subway tunnel? Host, Lena Carter. Level 99 title, Queen of Survival. Skills, maxed special ability. Infinite space domain. Lena stood silently on the balcony overlooking the city. Her long black coat moved with the cold wind while thousands of survivors celebrated below. Children laughed. Music played. People lived without fear. The world she once failed to protect had finally been rebuilt. Footsteps approached behind her. Ethan, no longer a frightened little boy, now he was one of Eden's strongest commanders. "We found them," he said quietly. Lena's eyes didn't move. "Where?" "In Sector 9. A silent pause followed. After all these years, Daniel and Mia were finally found. Alive. Barely. The underground prison doors slowly opened. Daniel collapsed to the floor the moment Lena entered the room. He looked nothing like the man who betrayed her. Thin. Broken. Terrified. Mia cried beside him. "Lena, please," Daniel whispered. "We were wrong." Lena stared at them calmly. In her first life, she dreamed about revenge every single day. She imagined making them suffer, making them beg, and now they finally were. Daniel crawled toward her. "We can still be a family." Lena looked down at him silently. Then she smiled. Not cold, not angry, just empty. "You still don't understand," she said softly. "You stopped being my family the moment you left me to die." Daniel trembled. "Please, give us another chance." Lena turned away. "You already had one." Guards dragged them away as they screamed her name. But Lena never looked back, because revenge no longer controlled her. She had already won. Outside, the sun slowly rose over the rebuilt city, for the first time in years. The sky was blue again. Ding! Final mission completed. Humanity's survival rate stabilized. The apocalypse survival system thanks its host. A warm light surrounded Lena. Then the blue system screen slowly disappeared forever. The mission was over. Ethan stepped beside her. "So, what happens now?" Lena looked at the peaceful city below. Children running through clean streets, families eating together, people living, really living. Then she smiled softly. "Nell, we finally start living again." And far above the new world, the red moon faded into history.